It is a Sha Tin on the Saturday afternoon. Welcome to the Race by Race preview with Paul Lally and the selections. We get underway at 1 o'clock and a race on the all-weather for the Class 5s with Daily Trophy. He was a winner on the all-weather 4 starts ago. Smart leader, Zach Purton and Chris have a very good record this season together. Diamond Source Pacifiers go back on. Super Joy is back to his preferred course and distance, and Regency Happy Star steps up from the 1,000 to the 1,200 metres. It's Diamond Source leading the field, Paul.
Yeah, he likes to lead, and I think he can go forward and get to the front easy enough. Volcanus sort of leads over longer trips, but in the small field he can go forward. Spangled Fortune, Daily Trophy, Regency Happy Star, just with the smallest field, everyone will get the chance, I think. Super Joy was actually quick away last time, which was, well, when I say quick away, he jumped with them, which is unusual for him.
That's quick for him.
Exactly.
We'll talk more about Super Joy in just a moment. We're going to start, though, with Daily Trophy for a very informed combination of Hugh Bowman and Casper Founds. Good draw also, Paul. Win has been course and distance, but just does have that 135 on his back.
Yeah, and he's had the 21 starts for 1 win, so you wouldn't call him the most trustworthy horse going around, but he's in the right grade. He's in Class 5. The combination are going really well. His win was off 33, so he does have to carry the weight. I'm going to include him, but I haven't got him on top, but I think he'll still run well.
Not a bit high-rise power. He's offered to deliver on the trial form on the all-weather, but hasn't done much.
He hasn't, is he? He's been a bit disappointing on race day, but you can see him finishing off nice enough in those brown colours.
Move on to our next one. It's the old boy, Smart Leader, who runs 5th here. Regency Happy Star runs 6th. Now, this was on the first day of the season. Regency Happy Star has had another run since then. Smart Leader has not. Draws barrier number 4. Lightly trialled on the all-weather, he has placed on the surface.
Yeah, Regency Happy Star didn't do too much on his only run on the all-weather, so that worries me a little bit with him. And Smart Leader, he's had 5 goes for 1 minor placing, so I haven't put either one in the end. I just think there was a couple of negatives, but more than capable on the turf as Smart Leader as an older horse. But look, I didn't like the way Regency Happy Star hit the line here either.
So they're out. Same to you and Ho Ho Star, both racing on Tuesday if you've been waiting for them. Here's your grey Super Joy. This is turf last time. As you can see, he's much closer to the speed than what he usually is when we roll the replay, and goes back to the all-weather.
Yeah, which is where all his really good runs have been, Super Joy. I mean, you're on the back foot from the start because he basically misses the start and you've written yourself off, and then he storms down the outside. He's had 4 seconds, and a couple of those seconds he should have won. He's only had the 1 win, and look, this isn't his surface at all, and I just really like the way he finished off here. So if he gets onto his favourite surface next time, finishing off strongly once again, I think he's the one to beat. I thought it was a really good run from him.
Matthew Chadwick in good form at Happy Valley on Wednesday night. No Super Joy very, very well. One more to have a look at. It's Spangled Fortune running 3rd in a trial behind Go Go Go. He has 1 course and distance. That was off a rating of 30. Runs off 38 on the class drop here from barrier number 1. Yeah,
just slightly higher than his winning rating, but the trial was good. He was going really nicely here. Another one that obviously is an all-weather horse, so that's where it's his good form has been, and I really like the way he sort of wasn't pushed out in this trial, so yeah, I'm including him.
He's under a good strong hold there. Hitting the post is Spangled Fortune, but it is going to be a case of, for you, all of them chasing Super Joy.
Yeah, well, it's probably going to be the other way around, turning for home, because Super Joy is going to be probably last or somewhere. So you just close your eyes and just watch him come flying down the outside. So, look, I think he can do it. So he's on top for me, Super Joy, to beat Diamond Source from the front. Now, he's well rated. He's one of 43. He's got Alice's claim as well. So he's in there for second. Daily Trophy and Spangled Fortune, we talked about those two. But I think 7 can win this. 7, 6, 1, 4.
Paul with the grader dash down the outside, Super Joy, and take the first on Saturday afternoon. For the Class 5 racing in race 2, but this one is on the turf and it's over 1,600 metres with Game Player Warrior and Nice Birdie both on the class drop. Merchant Prince steps up to the 1,600 metres. Charmander extra £7 for his first up win. Castle Legend won course and distance 3 starts ago on a soft track, and Happy Hunk has the cheek pieces off and the blinkers on for the second time. He leads Happy Hunk, Paul, but he generally gets run down.
Yeah, he hasn't won yet, has he? And he likes to go forward. Go Hero went forward last time. Nice Birdie's got the £10 claim, so he won't be too far away. Charmander, the last start winner. And then the other four, they're get-back horses. Invincible Missile, Merchant Prince, Casa Legend and Game Boat Warrior. So I can't imagine being too much speed in this race.
We spoke about a horse that's normally slow out of the gates in the first in Super Joy. This one is too Invincible Missile, but like Super Joy, he jumped a whole lot better this night at Happy Valley, and he's not going to find too many better Class 5s as far as opportunities go to win one.
No, look, he's towards the end of his career. He's a 9-year-old. He's won off a lot higher ratings and in all the courses. It wasn't a bad run from him. He's just getting on in age. That's the thing. So, look, there could be a win in him, and this could be it because it doesn't look a strong race.
No, it certainly does not. That is Invincible Missile. Now, Charmander has winning form. He has placed a 2 from 3 course and distance. Go Heroes had a few issues internally along the way. Has trolled up okay, but not too much on race day. We'll focus on Charmander and thoughts on him going back to back.
Yeah, I think he can. He's picked a really easy race. Charmander, the 1600 looks good for him. He's sort of been really building up for this win. It's taken him a while to get there. In fact, it was his 24th start. But you see it quite often with these horses. They sort of had a break in the season, and this could be his season. So he's found a nice race that he could easily go back to back.
And finally, we've got 2 more to have a look at in this replay. It's Casa Legend running 6th. Now, this was his first up performance behind Go Go Go. And it was over 1600 on a good yielding track, and Happy Hunk hasn't certainly been turning on the leadies at all.
No, he hasn't, and you can see him fading out once the lights go on, and he's going to be going backwards, I think. But you can see going nicely here is Casa Legend. He hit the line. He's sort of a one-paced horse, but from barrier number 2, he'll go in on the minor line. But a nice win, a nice run from him off the 2. I just can't have Happy Hunk the way he hasn't been finishing off his races.
All right, so you won't be flashing your dollar bills at Happy Hunk.
He won't be definitely. We'll be flashing them at Charmander, though. I think Charmander can go back to back. He's on front. He's on top from Casa Legend. Then Invincible Missile drops away after that, I thought. And look, you put Merchant Prince in. It wasn't a bad run from him for his seasonal opener. So from barrier 4, I think he'll get his opportunity. So we ended up with the numbers 6, 8, 3, 4.
The Pokemon Hunters out again in race number 2 with Paul and Charmander to make it back-to-back wins. And race number 3 is another turf event. This time we go up in grade, though, to a Class 4 over the 1200 metres. And McNamara's Master, a former Macau horse, is now with Dennis Schiff. Colourful winner has never raced past 1,000 metres until this event. Pochettino extra £4 on a fast-finishing debut 4th. Super Legends is placed 2nd up. Ichong Raider comes back in distance from the 1650. And Urban Triumph cheek pieces off and the visor goes back on him. We've got Fung and Sea Air Legend leading Paul, but everybody in the small field gets their chance. Yeah,
there's no leader in the race, and look, these two have led in the past or gone forward in the past, so by default they might lead. I mean, Alfie might just take the bull by the horns of Super Legends and go forward. Colourful winner steps up from 1,000, winning heart. Pochettino was well back. McNamara's Master hasn't shown too much in his debut trial here in Hong Kong, and then the other 3 get back.
Colourful winner, good debut from him. He stuck on pretty well. He runs 5th here, ridden along all of the way pretty much in this as he was in a recent trial. But he stays on. He just seems to be a horse you've got to keep at him the entire way. Yeah,
bifrosted this horse. He's out of a high chaparral mare, so there is a bit of stoutness going through the dam side for sure. Look, he stayed on nice enough. I'm going to include him. I think his runs haven't been too bad. He's only had the 3. The better run was the 2nd run when he did run 2nd behind Amazing Fun. But stepping up to the 1200 will give him an opportunity, so he goes in.
And Cheval Valiant, who's beaten him home there by about 1.5 lengths, has come out and won since that race. Next up, it is a Super Legends who finishes 2nd. Life of Stones wide turning for home, and Pochettino. He's 2nd last and motors to the line. What of this trio?
Look, I'm going to make this to Quinella. I think Super Legends can win. He was well clear of Pochettino when they hit the line. It was a good debut run from Pochettino. He was a big price, though, because he hadn't shown anything in his trials leading into it. So maybe he's just one of these horses that saves it for race day. The other thing with Pochettino is he's bred for a lot further than the 1,200 metres. So that's why I went Super Legend, who was a clear second here, over Pochettino.
That's the Smart My Wish winning that race. He races on Tuesday at Sha Tin. Now, Yichong Raider ran third in a trial up at Chung Fa behind Dan Attack. He has placed 2 from his last 3, but they've been over 1,400 metres. What about the 12 first up?
Yeah, I put a question mark next to that for that reason. Look, it was a really good run 2 starts ago, this horse. He's a son of Deepfield, so the 1,200 should be okay for him, but the way he races, he's obviously been better over the 14 to date. But look, I didn't want to leave him out. I've included him as well because I think there is a level of ability there.
He goes in, and that's Dan Attack, and his stablemate Embraces running 1 and 2 in that trial. So he's in. Super Legends is certainly in. He's the one to beat for you.
Yeah, Super Legends will put on top here. I think he's a really good chance here in this race. He can beat Pochettino with that breeding for further, and then Yichong Raider and Colourful Winner. So I think we've covered all 4 nicely.
That's easy as that. And that is the preview for race number 3. It's the first leg of Saturday's Early Treble. We look now to race number 4, and this is the Tai-Ho. It's off to the all-weather track we go, and it's a Class 4 over the 1,200 metres, and Bowser has the hood off and the pacifiers with the cowls on. Akka Power's a 3-time course and distance winner. Robot Knight has the cheek pieces off. Flying Dragon crossover noseband off. Blinkers go back on. Happy Tango races well second up. Last start Class 5 winner he was too. And Jolly Companion coming back from the 1,400 metres to the 1,200 metres. Happy Tango, good enough to do it at Happy Valley last time, Paul. He switches across to a track where he's won on to the all-weather. Yeah, look, he's one of the leaders. Look, Regent Glory could lead with Zakon from barrier 1. Robot Knight led last time, Vincent from barrier number 2. Sonic Boom's gone forward in the past, but Happy Tango, I just thought there'd be sort of intent there from barrier 9 with the Apprentice claim to get across and actually lead. There's other ones. Cosmo Navigator, another one led all the way in a recent all-weather trial as well. I think they're the ones going to be sort of on the pace, but it could set it up for something as well because I think every horse will get their opportunity. Let's break it down a little bit further now off the speed map and move on to Regent Glory running third behind a horse you were keen on this day, Mr. Energia. Robot Knight a touch disappointing, so too Shanghai Style, and Sonic Boom ends up running 4th. Do you have any of these 4 in your calculations?
Yeah, definitely. I think Regent Glory is going to be tough to beat. He definitely goes in for me of this lot. Robot Knight led, and this is why I think maybe they won't do it this time because you can see him sort of dropping out. So if he can take a little bit of cover, I think it's a good thing for him. Sonic Boom, again, he's got a wide draw once again. But of these 3, definitely Regent Knight.
He is in.
Glory even.
Regent Glory. Yep. We move on to, now you mentioned Cosmo Navigator. This is a recent race at Happy Valley where he ran 3rd. You also touched on that trial. It was on the all-weather and it was very, very good prior to this race.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with him on coming back onto the all-weather. He's a horse I've had a bit of time with. He's had a lot of injury problems, a lot of sort of issues since he's got here, and I just think this could be his opportunity coming onto this all-weather surface. He stayed on nice enough on the turf, but being by Darcy Brahma, I just think he might be better on the all-weather.
Speaking of better on the all-weather, Akka Power does love the surface. He comes off a trial up at Chung Fa. Bowser ends up winning this. He's had the 2 trials, dropped out in the first one and then improved a whole lot here on the all-weather. And Brenton Avdullah, Ricky, you can buy him, but he does draw 12.
So he'll go back, but with the pace in the race, he should get the race run to suit Bowser. I'm going to include him first start coming here on the all-weather. He has one off a 53 rating. He's slightly higher at 57. That was down the straight 1,000. But coming onto the surface, looking at this, he's got American pedigree through the dam side. So the way he won the trial, I thought it was pretty impressive. I'm definitely going to include him.
So he is in. Are you sticking with your Cosmo Navigator though?
I'll stick with him, yeah, with Cosmo Navigator. I think this could be the right race for him, so we'll put him on top Cosmo Navigator to beat Regent Glory, coming out of that strong form race. Bowser in there. And one we haven't talked about, Day Victory. Now, he's another one coming into the all-weather for the first time. Does work well on the surface, and he's at one of the deep fields, so he should be okay on it. He should be a price too, 10-3-1-5.
With a watch on the 5 for Paul Day Victory in the first leg of the Triple Trio. Race number 5 is back across to the turf circuit for this, and it's over the 1400 metres and a Class 4. Majestic Colour Class drop and stepping up in distance. Fighting Machine has placed his last 2 blinkers go on for the first time. Lead Oxers now with Chris So. California Banners having his first start outside of Griffin Company. Champion Method has the blinkers off. Foolish Heart has a tongue tie going on. And down the bottom, Affirm wears cheek pieces for the first time. And we'll go to his usual role of pacemaker, Paul.
Yeah, he looks a leader. He likes to lead. Champion Method can go forward. He likes to go forward. Majestic Colour. Viva Gracious is drawn wide, so he's one that might be the odd sock there. Foolish Heart, Ace Power should be okay. I think Mr. Energia, he came from the back last time when winning, so I think they'll try something different. And it was a really good run from California Banner in a Griffin Company last start. I think he'll go back as well.
We are going to start with an interview, though. Nick spoke to the rider of Mr. Energia, Harry Bentley.
Harry, Mr. Energia is a horse who certainly got the job done last time in good style on the all-weather. The blinkers went on and he was much improved.
Yeah, that's right. I thought he was promising to run well at the end of last season, and yeah, managed to kick off really nicely and run them down.
He had a bit of authority, didn't he, at the line? I mean, once you sort of, typical on those all-weather races, you know, you sort of have to get stuck into them a little bit, don't you? And then, but once he found top gear, he ran home well.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, naturally, those races are always going to slightly flatter a horse that's finishing with a wet sail, but yeah, he came through the post really nicely, and the step up to 14 is certainly going to help.
Step up to 14 indeed. What about returning to the turf? Are you confident with that?
Yeah, he's a good mover and he goes well on the turf. It's nice to know that we've got the versatility of both surfaces, but the turf is certainly no downside.
On what we've seen on paper and on form, I guess, are we just thinking, reading between the lines, that the blinkers have had that desired effect? Clearly they worked very well first time. What about second time?
No reason why they shouldn't do the same thing again. I wouldn't put it all down to the blinkers. As I said, he was giving me a nice feel at the end of last season and running on through the line. So I knew there was more to come with him, and yeah, perhaps those blinkers just got another 10% out of him. So hopefully they'll do the same again.
And just finally, with all due respect to his rivals, it looks as if David's found what could be a very winnable race here.
I think so, yeah. It's come at the right time, a couple of weeks after his win, and yeah, it's not the deepest of fields, so hopefully he can put up another big performance.
There is Harry Bentley. We'll find out if Paul is sticking with him shortly. No doubt I'll be amongst your numbers somewhere after his good to you last time. Fighting Machine has been very close at his last 2. Zach Purton and Pierre Rung. Barrier 10 his last 2 occasions. Better draw in 5 here, and that's a gear change, just recapping the blinkers on the first time.
Yeah, so he'll go in the numbers. He's been racing well. He's just a one-time winner from his 10 starts, but as you say, he's been consistent, and I'm not so sure about this as a form race going forward, because it was a bit of a blanket finish in it. But yeah, look, he did what he had to do, and he was just run down late, so with those blinkers on, they should help him as well.
That is Fighting Machine just being beaten by Amazing Run, pretty close to the line. Affirm on your speed map we saw leading up, and he ends up running 4th here. What about this race? How far will he lead for here, and will he hold on for a top 4 spot? Well,
he's finished 4th at a few, you know, in his last 4 starts actually. And prior to that, he's finished 2nd. So, look, he's going to get his own way out in front because he looks the only leader in the race. So, yeah, I'm going to include him as well. I think he's a horse that there's a win in him somewhere coming up for sure, and maybe it's coming up here on Saturday.
Matthew Poon is the man on board, and he's placed 2 from 4 course and distance, has the big chestnut Affirm. But he was good to you last time, Mr. Energia. Do you go again?
Yeah, look, I sort of agree with Harry Bentley. Obviously knows a bit more than me about the horse, but what I've seen, the turf run was no problem either. So coming on to the turf with the blinkers on, we'll put him on top. California Banner, now he was 1,000 to 1 last start when he ran 2nd. It was a massive price for him, and he really hit the line 3rd actually in the end behind Santorini. He was close up 2nd and close up in that photo for 2nd. I think he's a horse on the improve coming through Griffin, and up to the 1400 looks good for him. Affirm and Fighting Machine. 7, 6, 12, 2.
Paul's play a win on Mr. Energia for the first leg of the 6-up. Race number 6 looks to be a race with a few chances, and we'll see what Paul likes when it comes to this one. It's a Class 4 and it's over 1,400 metres. Northern Beast is looking for 3 in a row. Amazing Run's a last start winner, goes up £5 for it. Happy Daily's a last start winner, carries an extra 3. Forerunner raced wide first up. We've got Harmony and Home, who's found form, a winner in Class 5 2 starts ago and backed it up with a win last time. Casa Papa, he had his first up run over the 1650 at Happy Valley, comes back in distance here. My Flying Angel from Barry, number 1 with a claim, has early speed, Paul.
He has, and look, he's through 9, 13, 12 and 10 of his last 4 starts, so he's finally got a barrier draw. But there's no other leader in the race, so I think they're going to go quite slow. Good to slow is what we put up there. Deal completed, it's drawn wide, he might be able to get across. Circuit Mighty is the only other one that sort of could lead, and all the rest sort of tend to get back.
We go with a winning form, and it's Northern Beast, who was a winner 2 starts ago over the 1650 at Happy Valley, then won again last time. Started favourite both of those occasions. He's a horse, though, that has done his best racing so far across at the Valley.
That's the problem, isn't it? He seems to be a 1650 metre valley specialist at this stage, so 1400 metres here. We'll see how he gets on. But in saying that, he did win his last 2 races at the back end of last season, so he's definitely a horse that's found some form. I'm going to include him, but not on a win line.
He's had 2 trials and has trialled up well in both of them too, has Northern Beast. Now, Amazing Run's a last start winner. He went off at just under 20 to 1 in this race. He carries extra weight for it, but he's a fairly decent size animal, so the extra weight might be nullified by his size. Yeah,
it could well be with him, but yeah, I'm just not sure about this race. And you know, when a horse wins at that sort of price, there wasn't too much sort of confidence. He's drawn barrier number 10, just whether he can put the 2 together. Fighting Machine on the inside's running in an earlier race. You'll probably get a lead on that. Forerunner wasn't a bad run. He hit the line nice, you know.
And that is Jumbo Legend getting home behind them for 6th after being held up a touch. Hasn't this horse found some form? Harmony and Home. He hadn't won for ages between runs, and then he won 2 back, and then comes to Class 4 at Happy Valley last time and wins again. That's Family Jewel, who'll be racing without a whole lot of luck. He's come out and won well since this race.
He has. Look, I quite like the runner Gangnam Star here. He's the one that's going back to the inside in those yellow and green colours. He didn't get much run either, and once he got into the clear, he finished off this race really nicely. Look, there wasn't much between first and last at all here. You could throw a blanket over them, couldn't you? And actually, even old Circuit Mighty stayed on reasonably well there.
That's that 3. Now, Happy Daily is another 1,400 metre specialist. This is a recent trial around Happy Valley. Dennis Ship's given him 2 trials, a 6th in the first one, and then he raced wide all of the way in this. He beat Never Peter out, just pushed out a touch to do it. Well, not the strongest trial we've ever seen either.
No, look, he's never won fresh up in the past, but he's with a new stable that hasn't raced him fresh in the past. So with those 2 trials under his belt, you're going to have to say that, you know, maybe there is a little bit of a difference there with that training style with Dennis Yep now having the horse. Look, he's a last start winner, so I've included him on the minor line.
Vincent Ho rides him, but this is the horse that you think might be able to pinch it from the front, My Flying Angel.
Looks the only leader. He's got a claim as well. So, look, if Alice Wong can rate him nicely in the front, as we said at the start, 9, 13, 12, 10, that's where his draws have been. Did run last at his last start, so you are taking it on trust, but I think this is a completely different kettle of fish, and I think he could win.
So he races straight off that track work video on top to your selections.
Yeah, we'll make it, and hopefully he'll be a bit of value as well, My Flying Angel. So he's on top to beat Gangnam Star, Northern Beast and Happy Daily. But each way the 3 for me.
My Flying Angel for Paul. Race 6, number 3 on top of the selections. Feature race on Saturday afternoon is race number 7. It is the trophy race, the Enchai Trophy over the 1,200 metres. Bottom up together carries an extra £8 for his last start win. Ruby Lot, extra 6 for his last start victory. Equatorial comes here, having won over 1,400 metres at Salisbury and Chester for Roger Varian. Polaris has placed 2nd up. GoCo Win having his 2nd run for Douglas Whites. Elegant Life's improved his first 2. And Super Fortune was an opening day winner in Class 4 and makes his way back into Class 3 here and will share the lead with the likely favourite, Paul.
Yeah, look, Bottom Up Together's drawn 8 and the other horse, Super Fortune's drawn 9. So I think they can probably just come across together. If Super Fortune wants to go on with it, maybe Zach can let him on Bottom Up Together, because he won't want to get into a speed battle. But Super Fortune doesn't always necessarily have to lead. Polaris can get a nice run, Galvanic, Goko win. Great State back to the other 3.
There's no cracks in the form line of Bottom Up Together. 3 starts for 3 wins. Nick spoke to Zach to see if he thinks it'll remain that way and make it 4 for 4.
Zach, Bottom Up Together is a mightily exciting horse. We're all certainly looking forward to seeing him back on track, and I imagine you also will be looking forward to getting back on him under race conditions.
Yeah, he's done everything we've asked of him so far, and he's progressed with each run. He's now had the chance to have a bit of a break, which physically is going to do him the world of good. He was always a little bit of a narrow-bodied and lightly framed horse, but it just gives him a little bit of a chance to try and have a breather and develop a little bit. His Achilles heel is he just wants to get on with it a bit too much. He wants to run through the bridle, so he needs to learn to be a bit more of a racehorse if he can. It's not going to help drawing out where we have drawn, so he's going to show some speed. It's just a matter of trying to harness it as much as I can, and hopefully he can get the job done.
You mentioned obviously the fact he is perhaps that little bit headstrong. I mean, it was quite evident last time. I mean, you went forward. I guess ultimately he was the best horse in the race. It looked as if you bossed it, but has he still got plenty to sort of mature and plenty to learn about the game?
He does, yeah. He's obviously got the natural ability there, but that only takes you so far. You need to start to do things correctly if you want to continue to take those steps, and he needs to show us he's going to do that.
You've had plenty to do with the horse, of course, on race day and also trials. He's had a couple of them. Have you been happy with the trials so far?
He's been trialling well, yeah. He's been going good without being put under too much pressure, so it'll be good to have him back at the races. And you know, this is just the start of his preparation this season. He's not fully wound up, but you know, I think he's forward enough to handle himself well enough in the race, and you know, he's obviously going to improve with the adding.
You're more than welcome to bat it back to me if you want to, but I know Frankie Law's gone on record as saying he might be sort of a horse for the 4-year-old mile. I know it's very early days, but do you think he's a horse that sort of would get that trip in time? I know the full brother who you won on Beauty Live certainly did.
No, he's not going to get it if he continues to race in the manner he's racing in. He needs to relax, and that's going to be his challenge. But you know, it's every horse that's 4-year-old at the moment is heading towards a classic mile. So you know, that's just it's the reality of the place we're in, and they're not all going to make it, but they'll all get their chance, and we'll see who works out to be the best one.
Just one final question, Zach. Down at the bottom, Super Fortune in the race is pace. I know your fellow led last time, but if he was to go pretty quick, would you be happy just to let him go?
If I can let him go, I will. It's just a matter of trying to harness my guys' enthusiasm, but Super Fortune is probably not as quick as he used to be, but if he gets out and he gets rolling, we'll work that out.
And there is Zach on Bottom Up Together, which leads us perfectly now in Paul to Super Fortune, who was a winner as we saw last time. He trialled well leading into this race. This was Class 4. Matthew Poon gets on well with the horse and stays with him here. Wide draw barrier 9, Bottom Up Together's drawn 1 inside of him, gate number 8.
Yeah, I think they'll come across together, but look, Zach's right. I don't think he has got the real early pace that he used to have, this horse. Now, there was a bit of rain around this day, and I think it really helped him in Class 4. He just might struggle coming back up into Class 3 on a sort of firmer track. The 2 horses that chase him home here are sort of yet to win here in Hong Kong. But look, it was still a good run from him, and I'll include him, but I think Bottom Up Together is the better horse.
And just finally then, as we're playing for minors by the sounds of it, this is Ruby Lot, who was too good for Beauty Crescent last time. He's had 2 trials, ran 3rd in the first one behind Panda, and then beat Master of All up at Chung Fa. He's had 5 starts for 5 placings over the 1200.
Yeah, and one of them was fresh up as well. So he's a horse that can run well fresh. The trial's good. He improved towards the back end of last season, winning 2 of his last 3. He's won 3 from his 12 starts. I think he's the biggest danger to the favourite, Ruby Lot, and the trial was good. He finished off strongly. And he was a horse that used to go to the front and sort of get run down. Now, as an older horse, he's matured a bit. He actually settles back.
He does, as he did in that trial. But Bottom Up Together wins again.
I think he will, yeah. I do like Bottom Up Together to beat Ruby Light. I think that's the Quinella. Super fortunate. Goko wins. Only had a couple of starts for Douglas White, and he's a well-rated horse at the moment. 1-2-9-6.
Paul with Bottom Up Together to make it 4 for 4 by winning the Yenchai Trophy, race number 7. Time to look at race number 8 now on Saturday afternoon, and it is a Class 4. It's over the 1200 metres. Awesome Treasure is on the class drop. Lucky Touch comes back in trip. Everyone's Classic has had 5 trials, 2 this season. We've got King Oberon placing his last 2 in the form. Universal Blaze pacifiers off, the hood goes on, and down the bottom wind speed comes back from the 1400 metres to the 1200 metres. Barrier number 10 won't stop Awesome Treasure, Paul, if he jumps as quickly as he can getting across.
Yeah, he looks the leader, doesn't he? He can go forward. Wind speed's gone forward in a recent trial. Harold Wynn, Glorious Expert's coming up from 1,000. Now, Everyone's Classic's been slow away in every single one of his trial, but then has mustered a bit of speed. So he could be out the back. It just depends on how he jumps. Blazing Wind improved a little bit in the trial, and the rest. Now, Lucky Touch, his best run in Hong Kong is when he was on debut, and I think he'll go back.
In interview, Harold Wynn is the horse. He's been Harold placed at the moment because he just can't quite get across the line in front. That could change. He's Andrea with Nick.
Andrea, Harold Wynn looks a winner waiting to happen, hopefully. That run last time on seasonal return was really good. You must have been pleased with the effort.
Oh, it was definitely a good comeback run. His work going into it was quite nice, and yeah, no, he didn't do anything wrong. We had a good pitch and followed the winner through, and I actually turned into the straight. I thought I was going to go and pick the winner up, but like I said, the winner, I think he was down in grade, and every time I got to him, he kept finding. But take nothing away from my horse. He ran a solid race, and there's a very good chance he's well, he has improved from it. Started him 2 days ago. It seems that he come out of the race very well.
He's only had the 5 runs. I mean, early on, he just looks a little bit raw still, didn't he? And obviously, he's quite a substantial type of horse, but the penny seems to be dropping with him now and sort of becoming a bit more the finished article.
Correct, yeah. It took a bit of time for him for the penny to... I don't think the penny has quite dropped yet. I think hopefully on tomorrow on Saturday, it should, like, he's getting there. It took a few runs for him to understand the game, but no, the more racing, the better, and he deserves to win one now.
He looks like a nice horse. He kept on really well, didn't he? The first 3 in that race, obviously yourself included, were a nice way clear. The 4th, Mastermind, has won since. So form looks good.
The form looks good, and like I said, the first 3 horses are decent. Would also finish behind me to look like a horse that it's ready to win eventually. So it was good form, and like I said, they pull well clear from the 4th.
And there's Andrea. Grab your cup of tea. There's a few replays to have a look at here after Harold. When we start though, Paul, with King Oberon, who runs second. He's run second behind Courier Aladdin, and then placed here behind what was the short-priced favourite in Super Infinity. Both those starts 1,200 metres, stays at the same trip, draws 1 gate wider than this placing.
Yeah, barrier 5 for him. Douglas White's got this horse, and look, he sort of found a bit of form with those 2 seconds at his last 2 starts. Finished off nice enough here without sort of threatening the short price favourite. So it was a bit of a bunch finish there for second, but it wasn't a bad run from him.
That is King Oberon. Our next replay is the first starter. Everyone's Classic is his name. He's a member of the Frankie Law stable. He's 2 trials this time. In the first one was a 5th behind Cosmo Navigator, not asked to do too much, and then a 7th here behind New Power. He has the purple colours down on the inside. He's a member of the Law stable, and Zach Purton's going to ride on debut, Paul.
He is. He's 12.93 pounds, so he's a big boy. I just don't know if he'll be totally tuned down at that sort of weight. Jenny will give us a lead up. Has been slow away in all of his trials. I'm going to put him in on a very minor line, but he might be overbet with Zach on.
You can see him picking up again past the line there. Now, Blazing Wind, when he's best race second up, and that was a 4th behind Courier Aladdin. Disappointing first up, but the trial since has been okay with a 3rd behind Invincible Sage, and of course Invincible Sage runs in a group race on Tuesday. Yeah,
quiet trial from him, and he stayed on nice enough. Look, he hasn't really done it on the track yet from his 3 starts. I wait till he sort of does it on that. I mean, one of them was okay, that fourth, but they went really quick in that race, and he was a bit flattered running fourth.
Okay, so we'll see what he can do. Now, this is a trial up at Chung Fa. Wind Speed wins it. We've seen him win a couple of trials, but do not a whole lot on race day. The other horse in this trial is Strathbarry. Gets a good draw barrier too. His most recent start, he ran down the track behind Awesome Treasure. His two trials are fourth behind Glory B and then there's fifth behind Wind Speed. Have these two done enough in your eyes to make your top four?
No. Strathbarry definitely needs to improve. I mean, it was a very quiet trial. You can see none of the jockeys moving on it, so it was more of a jump out for me for that one.
We'll just leave that trial right where it is and move on to some track work now around Lucky Touches. His track work done enough to grab your attention.
He has. Look, his best run was his debut run, and he was 3 wide all the way. He's had 5 starts, and he's been placed in 3 of them. He did step up to 1,600 metres last time, and that didn't really work. So back to 1,200 looks good for him, I thought.
On top?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Lucky Touch. I think he should get the race run to suit. He can win. And Harold Wynn's been a bit of a non-winner at this stage, but look, he hasn't come out of bad form races by any stretch of the imagination. Wouldn't mind seeing him run on the all-weather, actually, Harold Wynn by Swiss Ace. But he's obviously got ability. Awesome Treasure could easily lead all the way from the front. And Everyone's Classic, look, just worried about him slow away from the barriers. 3, 2, 1, 4.
A lucky touch for Paul to win race number 8, the first leg of the late treble. Class 3 for race number 9, and the Class 3s will jump from the gates at the 1,600 metres. Ching's on the class drop, and he's a 5-time winner over the distance. Friend Tank likes to go 40s on the class drop too. Void Samurai's a last start winner, carries an extra £8. Starmac has a tongue tie going on. Pray for Mer has the cheek pieces going on, and Volcanic Spark is a last start winner, and that was over 1,800 metres. Entre Razzani and Ricky, you combine with him. Friend Tank, Void Samurai from the front pool.
Yeah, Void Samurai's gone forward and led just about in all his starts. Friend Tank's got an apprentice claim and is a really strong leader, so I think these two will share it. Should set up a good pace. Sweet Encounter can go forward from a low draw. Pray for Mer looks tough for second to none. He's got a wide draw. Volcanic Spark will have to go all the way back, but he did go back when winning in the lower grade.
Straight to Nick with Frankie Law talking Void Samurai.
Frankie, Void Samurai is a runner for you on the weekend's card. Lines up in race number 9. A lightly raced 5-year-old, but on what he has done, he's done a really good job, hasn't he?
Yeah, last season, 5 start, 3 win, 2 seconds. It's good. Yeah, really good, yeah.
And just recently, you've given him a trial. The trial looked good. He won that trial at Sha Tin. He looks to have progressed well.
Yeah, I gave him 2 trials, one in Chung Fa, one in Sha Tin. He tried good, and so that's why I just put him for the race, yeah.
Just an overall sort of assessment of that form, Frankie. I mean, he was progressing so well throughout the course of the season, and once you got him up to the mile, he probably looked better than ever on what we've seen. I mean, that last win was quite authoritative.
Yeah, he looked like a big horse, and he big stripe. I think he's just a little bit one pace. So I think 16 maybe later on can go up to 18. I think so, yeah.
You mentioned the pace angle. I mean, I had him labelled as perhaps a potential leader, but you've got Fran Tank in there as well, so it probably just makes things a little bit complicated for your guy.
Of course, that horse put 10 pounds girls on. I think she'll try to lead. Maybe we sit second. I think still okay, yeah.
I guess with a horse like yours, he does look quite adaptable, doesn't he? And you know that he'll be seeing it out stronger than 1 or 2 others.
Yeah, but anyway, his first start. But we tried 2 times for him. He looks good to see the pace, yeah.
On from Void Samurai now to the 600 metres. We pick up our first replay, Paul, because there's a heap of them that sweep home from the back. We'll leave out Pray for Mer because he goes the other way. Sweet Encounter does too. Super Love Dragon, he was thrown out by you leading into this race and runs on. Fortunate Son against the inside makes ground. And Star Mac from the back, he's going to, if last season anything to go by, appreciate the step up in trip.
Yeah, now you see Fortune Son went inside and went really wide was Super Love Dragon. Now, he covered so much more ground, Super Love Dragon, and there wasn't too much between them on the post. Fortunate Son came through the middle. You can see him making up ground, and both horses looking that the 1600 metres is going to be good for them. Star Mac, as you say, the step up looks good for him as well. They ended up together, but Super Love Dragon definitely covered more ground over when you come down the straight. I think with Zach on, Fortunate Son's going to be a shorter price than Super Love Dragon. Either one could win in my eye, but I think there's going to be a disparity in the price between the two.
So you're going for the value around Super Love Dragon with the pertinent fact. And our Volcanic Spark doesn't win out of turn, but he comes into this race with winning form last time, goes straight to the 1600 metres here. This is a 1600 metre trial that he's had to lead into the race too. He's had just the one. The other one is Fortune Superstar. He's had the, what has become traditional now, Mark Newnham, 2 trials ahead of his resumption.
Yeah, look, Volcanic Spark steps up to Class 3 for the first time over 1600. His win was over 1800. He's by rote, and he looks like a stayer. So I reckon we're going to see the best of him over sort of maybe 2,000 metres at Sha Tin or even 1,800 metres at Happy Valley. So that's what I'm going to wait for him. He does come in with a lightweight, which is positive, but just the query being the 1600 fresh up.
Well, leave that replay where it is then, and you're sticking with Super Love Dragon.
I am. Look, I haven't got much between the top 3 in this race, but the way the prices are going to fall, I'm sure that Super Love Dragon is going to be the higher of the 3 between Voyage, Samurai and Fortune Son. For me, the play, and I made him the play of the day, is the QQP in these 3, 6, 7 and 12. I do like the 3 of them. Ching. Now, Ching's a really good horse as well, 5-time course and distance winner, and stepping up to 1600 looks good for him. So I'll be looking at exotics with these 4, 12, 6, 7 and 2.
There you go. Might have even had a little sneak peek of the trackside play in that race too. But Alexi Bedell and Chris So with Super Love Dragon to win race number 9. Race number 10, now there's a scratching in this race. Unfortunately, Green and White has come out, so the 1 horse will not be running, but the 2 horse will. That's King Miles, who's a last winner. Prestige Always has had 3 trials. Silo has the cheek pieces on. Leslie has the blinkers going back on. Oriental Smoke has the tongue tie off. Mighty Commander goes from the 1,000 to the 1,200. And down the bottom, Thriving Brothers wears a crossover noseband for the first time. Where does King Miles land, Paul?
Well, I think
close to the speed.
Yeah, I think he does. He likes to go forward, I think, and he's gone from barrier 12. He'll try and get across. Not usual start, but there's not really a leader in this race, so he's drawn the inside. I think he might be there by mistake. Super Goldie sat in the trail when he won on debut, fresh up. Over the 14, he won't be far away. Prince of Porty's led in the past, but he runs better with a sit. And Dared, and all the rest tend to get back. So tactics going to play a lot in this race, mate.
And the focus horse is King Miles. Nick with his jockey, Vincent Ho.
Vincent, King Miles is your ride in the last race on Saturday. He's a horse who's had a really productive first season. It'd be great to have him back on the track, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely. Good potential horse, and the trial was very good. We're happy with him, and yeah, looking forward to ride him. He should mature up more during the off season, so finger crossed.
What did you learn, or what did that trial tell you, Vincent, on the back of what was a very good first season? How has he matured, sort of, this horse?
Yeah, I think his mind has been already quite mature, of course. Be better throughout the season, and the first trial we didn't really expect much, but he did more than what we expected, so we decided to race him tomorrow. If not, we'll probably have 1 or 2 more trials, but he seems coming along well, so yeah, good to ride him.
His form, Vincent, I mean, when he won his last race, obviously that was a decent looking class 3. He beat the Wanabe. I mean, it's pretty good form on paper, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he's a lovely horse, well built and easy to ride. So I mean, it's not a difficult horse to handle, and great potential horse. So let's see how far he can go this season.
given his sort of uncomplicated nature, if you will, gate number 12, does that put a spanner in the works at all?
A little bit, sure. And on the rail, like tomorrow, will be a little bit challenging, but you know, we expect him to run well, and that's the most we could ask for. We'll do our best to perform, of course. Let's see how we end up.
Indeed. He's of course trained by Francis Lloyd, trainee you work very closely with. I must just ask you finally, obviously we said a fond farewell to the champion Golden 60, and I think from everybody, speaking for everyone, it was a very it was an excellent ceremony, really. It was fantastic to see. How is the horse after all of that, and when does he leave, etc.?
He's leaving on the 5th to quarantine, and then he will stay another 2 weeks and fly out, of course. But no, we're happy that he hopefully enjoys you know, the farm or the grass as much as racing. So yeah, looking forward to how he'll react, seeing all the greens out there. Hopefully he, you know, switches focus on somewhere else and not racing. You know, so yeah, I wish him a happy life.
Good thing that finished. That truck was getting closer and closer during that interview as we move on, Paul, to Prestige Always, who gave Pierre a fleeting glimpse at the premiership at the last race of the season until Patcha Theta was just too good. This is his last trial. It's at Happy Valley. He wins after sitting outside of Heyday, and Zach's aboard.
Just the 3 starts for Prestige Always, and he seems to be improved with all of them. It was a 23-1 chance when he did run third at the back end of last season. Obviously, they probably run him because he was going for the premiership. Drawn 13 with Zach aboard. Look, he's obviously going well at the moment, so he'll go in.
Straight to Leslie. This is a pretty good trial from him. He comes from well back. We've got Beauty Eternal in this trial as well, and he gets to the outside Leslie and can bob up at times.
At big prices too, he can sort of bob up. So look, he's a horse you never ride off, Leslie, and he's a 3-time winner from his 28 starts. Drawn nicely enough in barrier number 5. As you say, finish off this trial really nicely. So, look, you wouldn't be surprised if he did win. It was a good trial from him.
Direct long rides him for Michael Chang. One more to have a look at. This is Thriving Brothers up at Chungfa. He runs a third in this trial. He's only had the 3 starts. The best of them was the last one when 50. Debut was okay too, just a bit disappointing at the run in between.
Yeah, he was right on the cusp for me because the trial wasn't too bad from him. So he is a horse that has obviously got some ability, Thriving Brothers. He's just drawn a little bit awkwardly, I thought, at barrier number 9, but not a bad run from him behind Pride of Theta last time, who we'll see coming out on Tuesday, and he did show some good acceleration in this trial.
He did. That is him in the red colours on the extreme outside. So that is the last. As Vincent, we just heard him. Does he ride the winner? Yes,
I think he does. He's a nice horse going forward as King Miles, so he's on top. Look, I really liked the run of Endeared last time. He hit the line really strongly, and Anton Hamlin from a low draw. Super Goldie, I thought, would get the good trail, and then Prestige Always with Zach aboard. 2, 12, 6 and 3.
That is the preview for Sha Tin on Saturday. 10 races, 8 on the turf, 2 on the all-weather. We go for the opening race at 1 o'clock.